Well, hey, how y'all doing out there on this Sunday? And I'm sorry I didn't want to come out here today. I was actually going to give everybody a day off and take the day off myself. And I got a pack over here behind me. I'm trying to finish up and get on the Appalachian Trail uh, to see love of my life, my Kansu. Um, so I'll get up like any other morning. I was just gonna have some peace, and I was just like many of y'all scrolling through the Facebook thing, and I see many of y'all's articles out there. I see many of the things y'all post, and this is why I don't comment a lot, because this happens. But I'm glad it did. I'm glad it did, because this is something I've been wanting to say for a long time. So I hope the women out there, I hope all you sisters out there are listening with an attentive ear, because I want to get some truths and some facts of life, natural law of life, men and women. I just want to get a few things straight, because with this, all these new talking points and the laws in Alabama and the laws in New York going to the extremes on abortion and a woman's right to her body and all this kind of stuff, men are becoming the enemy, like, because we're kind of getting those of us that have been in this situation, which are in the tens of millions, y'all, that are either used to have a baby, or we in a loving relationship had a baby and it goes bad and we don't get to see our kids. We get stuck with the laws, especially in the Bible Belt. That's all cool. I mean, that's just the way that part goes. But us not having a choice in that matter, or even being considered. I've lived this, y'all. And hey, Miss Justine, she's one of the sisters, and Debbie, she's another sister. And I hope they're both listening in, because I am talking to them. And I'm not going to read the comments, Miss Justine, because I want to get this point across. I'm not mad at nobody. I just want to get these truths across. I saw this article, said 100% of unwanted pregnancies are caused by the man. Okay. And I just started laughing. I thought it was like from The Onion, one of those satire news agencies. So I actually read the article first, and basically it's given the truth. A woman can have the pleasure from sex without ever becoming pregnant herself. A man, his orgasm causes a seed, and that causes the pregnancy. Well, that's true. That's natural law. Seed hits the egg, it becomes a baby, becomes a living being, by the way. So that part's true. But the unwanted pregnancies, 100% of that are all on the man. And I keep hearing here lately, especially with this Alabama thing, about rapists and incestuous fathers and incestuous brothers, the whole thing. I completely 110% agree with you. Not only do I agree with you, I have beaten men like that. I have seen men beaten like that and cheered it on. I completely disagree with that. I am not, and this has nothing to do before it gets deflected, because we're all bad about deflecting when we don't want to see the reality, or realize that everything ain't jumbled up into one box. All men ain't the same. All women ain't the same. All situations ain't the same. Nothing is always the same. That's why we should not have these blanket carpet laws given to you by the men. So here you go, ladies. I was speaking of, and this is all I'm speaking of, is the number one cause of all pregnancies is sex. But I am speaking of the consensual, loving sex that you have, or just a natural attraction, desire. You saw somebody and wow, they look good. It just looked like almost like a dinner plate, and you couldn't stand it. You just had that itch, and everything was in the stars, and man, we're just gonna have a good time tonight. Well, in the heat of that passion, both parties, by the way, are individual responsible adults, okay? This isn't a young guy and an old girl, or vice versa. This isn't any kind of strange situation. Let's just say this is two young people, 20 years old, met at a concert, just saw each other dance together, talk together, and they want to make love. All right, here we go. They want to have sex. That's two responsible parties. Why is it always the man irresponsibly, and this use that, and these ladies were using this term to me, is the man always the irresponsible one? Huh? Because I'm fixing to tell you why that's a lie. Is it the man that always wants the woman first? No, that's a lie. It's mutual, y'all. We are grown people, and it's time to realize that when you women, you are equal, and you're just as equal in your lust and in your desire, and what you see as candy or something you want, just as much as us. I was raised with 5 women. I used to get blushed all the time when I'd hear my mom, and even sometimes my grandma, they talk about some man being good looking. It would it would make me blush. So I know that the desire is on both sides. And here's where everything branches off into the lies and into the blame. So instead of us all taking individual responsibilities, instead of the woman being responsible for what goes inside of her body and the man being responsible for what goes out of his body, for both of them knowing what the hell happens when you do the wild thing. Who gets the blame in that when it's passion and in the heat of the moment? Because here's the thing. That's not the only kind of way that women and men enjoy each other. And I hate to, I don't like bringing up stuff out of my life all the time, but I don't like bringing up other people either because it sounds like I'm blaming. So here's the proof in my life. I was an unwanted baby, and here's why. My dad came home from war. Him and my mom ain't seen each other for a year. They were in their 20s, y'all. What the hell you think was going to happen on that night? So somewhere around September 9th, matter of fact, the exact day my Karen Sue was born, somewhere around September 9th, 1963, my mom and my dad did the wild thing irresponsibly because they had been away from each other and they loved each other and they had passion. And I was born. All right, I was conceived. I wasn't wanted. I wasn't thought out. All right, whatever. So what became of that became of that. Then me and my life, I have 3 children out of 5 that possibly would have been born. The 2 abortions were done behind my back. I'm going to leave that out of it. I'm going to deal with my 3 living children. My first son was a wanted child, thought out, planned, talked about for months and months before she even began to get off the pill to get clean, because she was going to do the whole thing, get clean and all that. And no partying, no drinking, no nothing, man. We planned my first son. And after his birth, you would get all the things that you would expect after that. A woman, giant baby. I couldn't believe this small woman had this like 11-pound boy. But my next son is what is considered a trap baby. After a couple years after my first son was born, my first wife, just for whatever reasons, we separated. And I was doing the things with him, and we did the child support and all this stuff. Well, one night she came over. She asked to get me back. It turned out bad. She left. She came back about a weekend later, and she told me this later on. This is why I know. And she came back. She had like a 12-pack and a pack of papers and all this, and was being really nice. And I was married to her, y'all. I didn't marry her out of attraction. I did think that she was good looking. So anyway, that's what happened. She came in and told me later on that she purposely had sex, lied about birth control, and to have a boy to get me back. So that's what's called a trap baby. So why don't we talk about all the men being irresponsible? Why don't we talk about the women that do that? All right. So that's me. That's my son. Now, it don't stop there. Well, come on back just a minute. That son that was born, the trap baby. Oh, and then my daughter, she was basically just a love child. I'd been in jail for 60 days for a fight, for all things, and cussing the judge. So he held me in contempt. He kept me in there for 60 days. I got out. I ain't seen my woman in a while. Irresponsible, passionate love making. Jessica Sue Bunting was born and is loved as a love child that she is. So that's what I call a love child. That's the one. That's a mistake, baby, but you love it, right? The trap baby. A lot of people don't fair. I love him. I love him more than anything. And he was a 11-pound baby too, by the way. Me and Biddy were the only ones born small. So there you go. There are 3 types of ways that my children were conceived and born. But yet I never got blamed for any of that. I never got blamed for the love child. I was supposed to be there for the planned child. And the trap baby was not on me. I love my son, and I'm so glad my son is here, and I'm very proud of him and the man that he has become. But he was unwanted by me, so the 100% unwanted pregnancies are caused by men. No. So man can't be tricked. We're not stupid. We're irresponsible, but we're not stupid. Oh, wow. But anyway, like I said, this carried on, because this is how these cycles of evil follow. My grandson, his son, my trap baby son, and I'm not bringing this up in a bad way. We're all family, and we all love each other, and everything's fine. But here's the thing: I called a fate. He wound up in a heat of passion. A woman wanted him and came all over. He's a 16-year-old boy at the time. Bam! There's another baby of passion, right? But this baby was different. I actually found out where my daughter-in-law had wrote him a letter saying, I can't believe you're mad at me right now. I picked between you and this other guy to have a baby. I wanted a baby that looked like you. That was a pet baby. That's what I call a pet baby. She wanted to have sex with my son because she wanted a baby that looked like his. So what about those women? So are those wanted pregnancies by a 16-year-old boy and a 19-year-old girl wanting a pet baby? No. So everything ain't the same. So when y'all bring up the rapist and y'all bring up old dirty old Uncle Bob, or y'all bring up that dad in Bama that yells roll tide out in the middle of the night with his daughter, that ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the babies that are conceived because of us, you and me, women, men and women. There you go. It's called individual responsibility. And here's the other thing. It's also called being smart enough to think about this and teach this to our youth, that there is nothing wrong with love-making consensual sex or even sex in the heat of the moment. It's knowing what that sex causes. And we can't blame it on one or the other these days because, ladies, you're equal. You're just like us men, and you have a right to your body. I just worry about how that's going to get used, but I don't want to stop it. So quit making it sound like I'm from fucking Alabama. Quit making it sound like men like me that don't look at y'all as objects of affection, that look at you as sisters, mothers, and elders. I see the Creator herself as being female. How much more can men like me speak our minds and still be allies with you, women? And I ask you that as a brother. I ask you that as a brother because I'm tired of being looked at as the enemy or the one responsible for the laws made that so you can or cannot control your body. You control your body, ladies. You do. Unless you are raped or you are taken advantage of at an early age by somebody you trusted. I get that part big time because it was done to my sisters as well. And thank God none of them ever became pregnant of a rape baby, because they probably wouldn't have kept it either. Nobody should. I don't believe in that. I believe that will beget more evil because, sorry, y'all, there's some natural law shit here and some spiritual shit here that we're throwing out the windows on who's right by casting the blame on each other. So no, you rallied for laws and you became a powerful force and a political force. You got what you wanted now, ladies. So let's don't be blaming it. How about let's be worrying more about how to stop the unwanted pregnancies, how to make that man. Here's the other thing, and this is why I know the heat of the passion is equal. Since you both want it so much, man, when them hormones get to going and all them juices get to flowing, that brain quits working. It gets one track. You just want that feeling and that connection with that person for that one split second that could cause life for another 100 years that you ladies have to carry. How did that become our responsibility when that goes on inside of your body? If the life inside your body, and I mean this in a very real sense, ladies, I'm not saying this is blame. I'm not saying this is a man-woman thing. But if you got to be just as responsible for what goes in if you're responsible for what you can take out. And that's just the truth. If you know what goes in there is going to make a baby and it's going to cause a lot of grief to you or be an inconvenience or whatever it is, and you have a right to your body to take it out, you need to be just as responsible both ways. And men out there, don't be thinking I'm out there, don't be out there smirking. Don't be out there thinking I'm only saying this out of love because I don't want a war between men and women. I see the way that we've been taught to fight each other, especially over here over the last few years with a misogynist in office and a man divorced and many kids and all this sexual harassment shit going on. I see the way they're making men and women fight. It's way worse than that Riggs Billie Jean King thing back in the day in that tennis match. It's the battle of the sexes. It's the war of the sexes, and there should be no war. We all need each other at the level we are. All these situations and all these people, male or female, are not all the same. So we got to go to that point first. So anytime I ever speak of this issue, I'm not going to say I'm not going to speak it again because I don't mind speaking about hard things, but it sure is a pain in my ass to talk about certain things that save lives. Not the lives coming into the world, not to keep them from going out of the world, just the lives. Your very life because your own soul, because we get mixed up into thinking certain things are right or wrong when right or wrong is all about perception. You just harm, nothing else. To the best of your ability, I think that would be doing the best you could do. But being pitted against each other and the war for men and women, this is why I'm not going to let the men sit back there and smirk about this and think, oh, yeah, you're saying this, this, and this. Well, no. Also, even if you just thought that girl was good looking, even if you just thought that that girl or that woman, I'm just going to say woman, okay, because we're going to get the age thing. Oh, just met, buddy. I'm gonna say woman to keep the age thing correct. If you consenting adults out there, you fellow adults like me, and you see a woman and you think she's cool and you think she's good looking, and even if you just thinking I just like to get with her, I can't control this. They laugh at us and call us irresponsible because we can't control ourselves and we seem to know better. Then prove it, brothers. You know what? If you really wanted a good woman to want you, which we most do, you would show patience. You would show respect. You wouldn't give her what she wanted the first time she wanted it either. And that's not a secret to get them to want it more. That's just because we all make bad decisions in passionate moments and in the heat of the moment. So aren't we men, since we get the responsibility of making these unwanted babies, and let's don't make them, brothers. Let's don't make them. Just hold back, or you know what to do. Some of that stuff that's been programmed into us is some bullshit too, you know. So when you search equality with another person on this planet, that's the first thing you do, is you think about them as well. But since we're the ones that are getting blamed, and we're the ones that have to take the responsibility, and we're the ones that have no say in the aftermath of our passion and our indecision and our not thinking, then start thinking, brothers. But take the blame out of all this shit. It takes two to tango. It takes two people to make a baby, no matter how the other one does it. Because that little statement that bullshit article wrote about a woman can pleasure herself without a man and not get pregnant, well, so can a man. And a man can't get pregnant. So the article is bullshit. And I hope you sisters see what I'm talking about. And if you're mad at me, fine. But you're not going to call me out and twist my words. I would never think any type of force on another woman is okay. It wasn't okay for my sisters. It wasn't okay for one of my baby's mothers. It wasn't okay for any woman out there, especially the one that I knocked 3 men off of and got a hole in the top of my head when they were raping a 16-year-old. So yes, I think rape is bad, and I think men should stand up. Good men should stand up against it. But it's not everyone. And it's not the reason for the laws. It's not the reason for the mindset. It's not a talking point. It is evil. It should be condemned. And these men should be jailed or worse. So there you go. But teach safe practices for your carnal lust we all share. That's on you. I don't flash around. I don't look at all you ladies like eye candy. And there's millions and millions, and most men do not do that either. Sure, there's jackasses out there, and they look at you like they're damn undressing you, don't they? That ain't everybody. I have my woman, by the way, and we met on all this, and even at our age, we practice not bringing life into this world. I did it by taking care of myself. There you go. So I knew a long time ago. I knew after the last one was taken behind my back that I was not going to allow that to happen again to me. I was not going to feel that pain again. So I took individual responsibility for my life and the things that were happening because of my actions. So think about that, because it's nobody's fault. And unwanted pregnancies are out there, but 100% of them ain't 100% of shit. I didn't want mine, and I ain't a woman. And my son didn't want his. I wasn't even wanting myself. So no, there you go. I see what you're saying, but it ain't right. We can't twist truth. We can't use biological science and opinion to make facts. We got to live together, y'all. And not only do we got to live together, ain't that the way that most of us, or the natural law and order of things? Isn't it nice, you know, that the woman in my life, she's treated with respect because she's also my best friend. She's not my object of desire, even though she is. I dreamed about her when I was 12 years old. It don't matter about me and mine, though. What I'm trying to say is there's other reasons that we love each other besides the sex, but the sex is the divide. You get what I'm saying? The sex is causing death. So both sides need to wake the fuck up. With the blame only causes more and more and more, and it'll keep going on, and it'll keep happening, and we'll never educate our kids not to do what we do. Think about that part. But I'm not blaming y'all, and I love every one of y'all as sisters. I love y'all as earth children. I love y'all as the mothers of the world and the givers and the sustainers of life. So be that. That's all I ask of you. Don't be fooled by everything else. Everything the man has offered you, women, everything that the man has offered you, work, education, getting to smoke in public, all really turns you into a slave and kills you. The thing they took away from you was your power. You're the only ones exactly that can have a baby. Think about that. I love y'all. Peace. And quit living in fear, and don't look at half truths. Look at the whole truth, or don't look at it at all. Okay?